I am sorry. I don't say this often, because I rarely need to, but I am sorry that I ever gave Aspyr credit for how good the Tomb Raider remake is, because looking back, holy shit, did that not hold up well at all. That was less than a month ago that I praised that shit and said that the Dark Forces remaster was fucking piss levels of bad and fucking just had the lowest level of effort put into it. And Aspyr somehow managed to be at both ends of a spectrum I didn't even know was achievable. How do you release something so good that I can look at it and be like, this is basically the bare minimum, and then at the same time release something so fucking bad that I am dumbfounded that it was allowed to happen at all? And they did this in effectively the span of like basically a little over a month. Like, how? How do you manage this? Somebody somewhere fucked up horribly. I don't even want to get into the discussion of whether or not AI was used, because at this point it doesn't even matter if AI was used for the textures, or maybe there was modded content that was just stolen and added directly in. It doesn't even matter. None of that matters. And I knew all of that, controversy going in. So my expectations were already pretty up in the air for whether or not I was, super hype. But let's be fair. I went to bed early that night. I went to bed, it was like 6 o'clock. Very early. When I knew the game was coming out, pretty late in the evening. I think like midnight or 1 a.m. or something like that. For Eastern time. I don't really remember looking back. It's been a week. But I woke up. I downloaded the game because I didn't see preload available as usual with these games. And I booted in, and by God, the menus weren't exactly pretty, and they definitely felt a little strange, to say the least, and to put it in incredibly mild terms. But then it just got that little bit worse. When I sat there for nearly 2 hours and couldn't get into any of the 3 servers that existed. Now, I'd heard, some people said there was 4. Some people said there actually were Battlefront 1 servers. I didn't see any servers for Battlefront 1, and I only saw 3 servers for Battlefront 2. And unfortunately, if I recall correctly, only one of them was a fucking Conquest server, and I don't recall there being a Space Conquest at all at launch. Which is wild to me, because one would not have assumed that Star Wars as an IP was a 3-server kind of game. Unfortunately, that's what we got. And holy fucking shit, the Steam forums were fucking hilarious. And that's crazy, because it should have been a slam fucking dunk. Like, all you gotta do is fix the fucking server issue. Like, just don't make it server browser based. Just implement proper server functionality, like I guess the like reboots you would call Battlefront 1 and 2 from EA. I have no fucking clue. It doesn't really matter, because holy shit, did they not do any of that. And what's even funnier is that it was fucked up for like 2.5 hours. And I went to bed minutes before they apparently released a bunch of new servers. And what's even crazier is that when I finally could play, everybody was mentioning that the matches were happening too quickly. So the one thing that they touted as the big, super great change for modernizing these games was the 64 players. Because originally, it was 32, which was, 16 on one team, 16 on the other. Ticket count reflected that. Unfortunately, the official servers did not reflect the new size in the ticket count. So now each team had 32 players, but the ticket count was set up for 16. So matches would end within 2 minutes, which is fucking disgusting. That's effectively non-functional. Anyway, they added Space Conquest, so I was, pretty happy. Right up until I discovered, like most people, the option to modify the controls for inverted does not exist. So you are just stuck with the controls being what they are. Oh, and I might add, the controls in this game are fucking awful. So, yeah, somehow they fucked that up spectacularly. Like, to a point that I would have assumed prior to that was physically impossible from a studio that had just released an amazing remaster. And all of this, mind you, is nothing in comparison to the fact that they charged $35.01, which I had a friend mention to me as we sat there questioning what the fuck happened. Was this like some reverse psychology shit? Like, there's the theory about, like, if you make something like $1.99 as opposed to $2, that the 1 cent difference makes it seem like a better deal or something like that. That they just decided to make it 1 penny more expensive. Like, what the fuck was going on there? I'm not even concerned with the other issues, because the audacity to not even just charge like $34.99. No. $35.01 more. Just is it's fucking crazy to me. Wild. Beyond the ability for me to formulate a logical explanation. It surpasses all explanation. I don't think it is possible for Aspyr to give a good explanation that doesn't sound equally insane as to what they did. The worst thing here about all of it, just as a sweeping generalization, is that I have to juxtapose two different Aspyr products from the early portion of this year, Q1, and they are night and day levels of quality difference, and I had no idea this would be possible. And in my defense, I am willing to admit when I am wrong. But I did not expect to be this wrong when I made those videos on Dark Forces. Because somehow, the company I had just praised for making an excellent remaster took the Star Wars IP and saw what Nightdive did and said, we can make it lazier. Which is just the creme de la creme of fucking dumb. It is really a race to the bottom with this IP at this point. I am not shocked by anything bad Disney puts out. And frankly, I need to just start getting used to the fact that we are never getting anything good in the games side of things either. And that's to say nothing of the TV side of Disney because apparently some people still think that shows like The Mandalorian and Andor are good, which just tells me that these are just either very low standards or people just legitimately have no fucking taste. Either way, holy fucking shit, Aspyr. I know this is a little late to the party considering everything that's going on with Dragon's Dogma at this point, but like, oh my fucking god. I am dumbfounded. And mind you, I could have put, proper footage of me like playing Battlefront at this point, or just like a static image, but I thought it would be more fitting to just leave the clock of my desktop wallpaper as the footage for this, because I am sitting here awake at 3 a.m. once again bitching at my computer screen about the state of technology these days being used to churn out the laziest trash physically achievable. Like, I am just incapable of comprehending how shit like this manages to happen in the first place. And you know what? I don't see that as a problem anymore, because at this point, I should just start making the assumption by default that whatever's coming out, I should just no longer be excited or care, because at this point it's just impossible to actually, receive what I'm expecting when, you know, for the most part, we get games like this, and it's just inconceivably bad and overpriced. And what's worse about all of this is the fact that I am still receiving comments from people on the Dark Forces videos where they are attempting to defend that shit. Mind you, they're not even bringing up the Classic Collection for the most part, but they are definitely coming out in droves still, like a month fucking later, to defend Dark Forces Remaster. And the fact of the matter is, I suspect these aren't even people who are interested in defending Dark Forces Remaster as much as they are interested in defending the honor of, like, Nightdive. But it's like, why? Like, they charged a shitload of money. Like, both of these companies charged way too much for the product they released. Except at least in Aspyr's case, they had just fucking proven that they were capable of doing so much fucking more. And clearly I'm just rambling at this point, because I literally lack the ability to formulate a proper coherent thought. This shit has physically broken me at this point, and I just can't. It's just impossible. There's no fucking way to come up with a rational statement. Like, it's just over. And that sucks. I had already minimal expectations of this game, and they somehow didn't even meet that, which isn't shocking. So I'm just going to end it here at literally after 3 o'clock in the morning. Fucking cue the Patrick Star meme, oh boy, 3 a.m. Like, I know that I've done that multiple times now in videos, and this is the first time where I have had the fucking actual clock to prove it. But, like, holy fucking shit, man. Aspyr, you sons of bitches. All you had to do was not release dog shit. I had just praised you, you bastards. Why did you do this? I hate it. It is what it is, though. The state of gaming these days is just... it's a fucking it's a loony bin. It's a madhouse. It's fucking like it's time to fucking old yeller the games industry, man. This shit's it's fucked. This ain't savable. But that I'm signing off. I'm gonna do one more video and then I'm going to bed. So deuces, dos vidania.